Guys, hi Sir Jom. My topic for today is about giant freshwater prawn. Giant freshwater prawn or Macrobrachium rosengerbi, also known as the giant river prawn or giant freshwater prawn. It is commercially important species of palamonid freshwater prawn. It is found throughout the tropical and subtropical areas of the Indo-Pacific region from India to Southeast Asia. It is characterized by having a pair of long and slender cilipedes that are blue and orange, extend well beyond the rostrum. The pair of cilipedes are equal in size, which is unique among Macrobrachium species. Sa makita na to sa picture, kanang cilipedes mo na ilang paak. Kanang tag-as kayo, nya blue o color o ban orange ba na. Dako kayo ang kuano kanang freshwater prawn nga gihawiran sa tao. Taas kayo ilang paak. Identification characteristics of mature and male and female giant freshwater prawns. Sa mature male prawns are larger in size, while sa mature female prawns are comparatively smaller of some age group. Mas gamay ang male kaysa sa female. Abdominal region is narrower. Kanang ilang tiyan, dako-dako og tiyan ang kanang laki ni. Aw ganang gamay narrower man. Abdominal region is broader than of that male. Mas dako ang tiyan sa baji kaysa sa male. The second walking legs are considerably larger and thicker. Ang ila kunong katong legs, mas dako ang legs sa walking legs sa laki kaysa sa babae. The cephalothorax is proportionally larger. At the base of each fifth leg is present male genital opening guarded by lid. Gonad is narrow, grayish, coarse mass, a limb-like structure of organ. There is presence of lump or hard point in the center of ventral side of the first segment of the abdomen. No modification present in the abdomen pleura. Taxonomic classification. Scientific name sa giant freshwater prawn, Macrobrachium rosenbergi. Higher classification, Macrobrachium. Family, Palaimonidae. Order, Decopada. Class, Malacostraca. Kingdom, Animalia. Feeding habits. The giant freshwater prawn is omnivorous, bottom feeder, and more importantly, it responds positively to supplementary feeds. So magsalig ra pud sila mga uglaw gani mo feeds o kersad omnivorous, pwede sila mukaog mga tanom or mga algae. Kaon sila, pwede po sila mukaon pud sila mga kuan pud kanang mga unod, mga isda gagmay. When it is extremely hungry, it resorts to cannibalistic activity. Kuan na dyan sila, kanang gutmo na dyan sila, makanibal sila, pwede sila kanon nila ng parehas nila po nga freshwater prawn. Life cycle. There are 4 distinct phases in the life cycle of the freshwater prawn, namely eggs, larva, post-larva, and adults. From hatching to metamorphosis into juveniles, the actively swimming large undergo 11 molts and metamorphose into post-larvae with 3 to 7 weeks depending on temperature, water quality, and food supply. Makita na ito nilang kuha na. Makita na ito sa picture ang ilang life cycle. Reproduction. When prawns mate, the female must be soft-shelled or newly molted. Soft-shelled kanang ora siya magluno bitaw mo na siya kanang molted, makita mo kaysa sa crabs. Kita mo mahumok siya ba, mahumok ang iyang panit. Mag-change siya mo na molted. The male inserts a sperm capsule into the female. Ang is into mura de capsule ang kuan, capsule ang form sa kuan sa male sperm mura insert nila sa female. This remains inside the female reproductive organ until the prawn is ready to release her eggs, at which time the eggs are fertilized. So ator na sila magpundo dito hangtod ma-release na siya na ma-fertilize. According to the new and Singholka, the giant river prawns lays between 0.8 to 1.0 times 104 eggs during one spawning. So kamo na ikuan na pila kada spoon nila. I-times na ninyo. Growth and maturity. The growth rate of this prawn is fast, showing sexually dimorphic pattern. Paspas ang growth sa mga prawn di ay. The male grow faster with heterogeneous growth rate. In 5 months, it attains average growth of 40 to 50 grams under scientific culture in the size group of 40 to 60 gm. The tail of both the sexes constitute about 55% of the total weight. These prawns attains first maturity when it's 136 to 150 millimeter in length, weighing about 35 to 40 grams within 4 to 6 months under captivity. In a sexually ripe female prawn, the fully developed ovary is an orange-colored mass. So ang female prawn nga nang ripe na siya, the fully developed ovary is an orange-colored mass. Orange ang color din la sa ilang kuan, murag ovary. Pero di man kuan pa mo kita ovary sa kuan pod. Rosenbergi stops feeding when molting times get near. At this time, it becomes sluggish. Kanang sluggish mo na kanang moras lag weak ba magluya na sila. Its eye color becomes dull and the shadow of newly formed shell appears in the rostrum. Molting gets completed within 10 minutes. Padong na sila magluno, mao na sila luya sila no. Murag maghumok mao dong na sila murag manguwag na ni ba. The frequency of molting is irregular and is dependent upon several factors such as nutrition, age, and stage of sexual maturity. Mao din na yung factor sa kuan. Ang ilang molting irregular di ay depende sa mga kuan, nutrition, age, and stage of sexual maturity. Generally, the interval of molting is 20 to 40 days. Kaana kadugay ang kuan ha pagluno nila 20 to 40 days. The shell gets hardened within 2 to 6 hours. Hindi guman lagluno after 2 to 6 hours mugahi na ilang kuan, ilang panit. Ay nga na ilang kuan yay. The newly hatched larvae o zoe are planktonic and attracted to light, not bright illumination. Mang newly nga hatch nga larva ma-attract din siya sa light di ay. They require brackish water to for their survival and metamorphosis in the natural larvae both in fresh water and brackish water. Those in fresh water are carried to estuaries by water currents. Otherwise, in fresh water they will die in 4 to 5 days. Mamatay din ang kuan ug di sila makaadto sa mga water currents ning bag-ong kuan hatch nga larva. The larvae are active swimmers. They swim tail first, ventral side upwards, and oblique angle. Early larvae are gregarious in habit. They swim together and in 10 days time the gregariousness gradually disappears. Larvae are omnivorous, feeding on zoo and phytoplankton and other organic food like bits of flesh, prawns, mollusks, as well as grains, seeds, fruits, etc. Liquid food is not taken. Mukaon din bisag unsa kaning freshwater prawns while abot ning liquid food. Lifespan. Prawns can live for 2 to 3 years. They mature at about 6 to 8 months of age and spawning occurs in offshore waters. Mamuhi din ng kuan kaning prawns 2 to 3 years. Na ma-mature sila 6 to 8 months of age gikan sa pag-spawn. King prawns tends to spawn throughout the year while tiger prawns mainly spawns during spring and summer. A single prawns can spawn more than once in any one year. Economic importance of giant freshwater prawn. The culture of freshwater prawn in the Philippines is extended to the diversity the commodities used for freshwater aquaculture. It is a high-value species and its culture could offer better profit. So mas dako jud kita kung mag-culture tay dayo kinahanglan po daghan puguan po daghan tag knowledge sa pag-culture ning freshwater prawn. Freshwater prawns are hardy and fast-growing, being able to grow in freshwater and low brackish water condition. Fast-growing man guning kuan kini mga freshwater prawns. The species possesses many biological advantages for commercial culture, including attaining maturation in captivity, a relatively large size and rapid growth rate. They feed on anything such as terrestrial animal feeds, any fish feeds, kitchen refuse, and etc. Kaon lagi sila bunsa way pili ni. Kaon yan ni tae. Traits. Macrobium rosenbergi, although considered as a freshwater prawn, is not purely a freshwater species. It has to undergo a saline phase in its life cycle. Di din sila pure freshwater di ay. This giant freshwater prawn is susceptible to various types of disease, particularly during the intermoult period. Mas kuan sila disease kung tingluno nila dali sila mga taptan og mga sakit-sakit. Some common disease with symptoms makita na to diri sa kuan graph sa diagram. Types of disease: bacterial infection, fungal infection, protozoan infection, hydrozoan infection, soft cell syndrome. Makitaan nyo na, mabasahan naman ninyo ng kuha nila kaning ilang mga sakit. External features sa freshwater prawn. Muna makitaan ninyo sa kuanda picture. Muna ang ang ulo, ang carapace, kanang kuan, abdominia, yang chilipido paak, walking legs, muna yung walking legs, murag laki ni siya nga kuan. Antina o taas lang antina. Status and trends. Farm production is rapidly expanding in Asia. The rate of expansion in the largest producer, China, has slowed partly due to the farming of an alternative indigenous species and partly because marine shrimps are now being reared in freshwater. Chinese production actually fell in 2002 but has the global market expand is expected to expand again later. Further global expansion is difficult to predict since it depends mainly on the volume of consumer demand. However, even if a very modest expansion of 10% per year occurs, global farm production of Macrobium rosenbergi will have significantly exceeded 400,000 tons by 2010. Daw daghan gyapon supply ay bisay pagkuan. The culture of Macrobium is likely to have a determinal effect because freshwater prawns cannot be reared at densities as high as those commonly used in marine shrimp farming. Productivity is generally lower, management is less labor intensive, and the potential for the abuse or waste of resources is minimal. And the growth out of macrobiome does not make agricultural and sally. Main issues. The development of freshwater prawn farming was inhibited in the past by its longer hatchery phase and lower grow-out productivity compared to marine shrimp. These contents are now balanced by a number of positive factors concerning its sustainability and the development of a distinct and expanding market for freshwater prawns. Furthermore, fewer people quality products enter the international markets now that the technique for avoiding mushness has become well known. market, and trade. Prawns can be sold fresh if they are going to be consumed within 5 days. Fresh sila kung makonsume sila within 5 days. Prawns which are not expected to be sold within 3 days should immediately be frozen. Frozen, paano siya, ibutang na para ma-frozen para di mabaho. Freezing should take place when they are fresh, not after they have been on ice for several days. Mag-takes place ang freezing kung fresh pa sila, dili kay kung gikan sila giinaysan pila na kaadlaw na malain na makabantay ta ng mga baligya sa merkado bitaw kan tayo mga pasayan na magpuwa na dapit sa o mo na din ana fresh. Frozen tails have a longer shelf life than whole prawns. Whole frozen fresh water prawns will turn mushy if they are frozen and held above -20 degrees Celsius, or they are thawed and refrozen. It is recommended that prawns to be stored for long periods be held at -30 to -35 degrees Celsius. Kaya nanglan jud kinabugnawan so kayo kung i-held sila og dugay-dugay ug kita i-export pa ning mga freshwater prawns kinahanglan jud ni bugnaw kayo na frozen jud sila. Tails which are frozen in ice blocks may be stored for over a year and still be very satisfactory, although a maximum of 6 months is recommended. Ay nga na di kadugay kung sakto ang pag frozen sa mga tails sa freshwater prawn moabot sila tuig, pero ang maximum 6 months sa jud ang recommended. A high quality image can be established if you begin by selling at high prices to expensive and well respected restaurants. This tends to demand high quality, which can help you to develop good products. Selling prawns to high quality restaurants require more effort for a new farm, but it will pay off in the long term. Going for this market and establishing your quality image first enables you to obtain higher price levels when you start selling larger quantities of prawns. Sources. Thank you for listening. God bless and keep safe everyone.